leads that CLG have gotten are thanks to Smoothie's playmaking, and one of the wins they got in lock-in was Smoothie's rel, basically going off in a late game around the Baron pit. So I like that ban. Camille going to be taken away from Licorice as well. That does leave Seraphine notably open for FlyQuest, but CLG just going to go down the list here, take Kaisa off the board nice and early.
It is interesting because we do see some teams really going towards Seraphine quite a bit. FlyQuest really has been the main one, but I think largely teams are kind of overlooking it. You know, I actually think Seraphine is probably the strongest champion in the game right now, as far as solo queue at the very least, but pro play as well. I think it's a legitimate three-way flex, bot support mid. I think, you know, it adds so much value in a meta that is prioritizing dragon fighting and fighting around objectives, team fighting in general. This champion is just ridiculously strong. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Diamond grab it for himself here again. Maybe even Johnsun could play it, but we already have the bot lane now for CLG. They will not get the rel, but they will have the Alistar Kaisa combo. So already setting themselves up to maybe go for a little bit of dive action here.
Yeah, I like the pick from Smoothie again. His playmaking has been good. He's known for his Alistar, certainly throughout now a very long career in the LCS, but I actually really like how FlyQuest have approached this draft. They've basically seen the jungle band, taken, I guess, what they think to be one of the strongest, or perhaps the strongest jungler left in the pool for them, and they know that CLG don't play Seraphine, so they just let them kick it back over and are happy to take it here. I'm curious to see if they're going to hide where it's going to go a little bit more, if they are just going to say, we're playing this bottom lane most likely, as Palafox does lock in MF for Johnsun.
There is a possibility of it still going mid,
yep.
But I think because we've mostly just seen it in the FlyQuest bot lane, it's fairly safe to assume it's going down there. This is also just such a strong innate combo between MF and Seraphine. You can actually shoot out the Seraphine root, then drop the MFE, and that slow being applied actually turns the Seraphine root into, the slow into a root immediately, so there's not really a lot of reaction time. It's also very hard to dodge that when you are in the MF slow already, so pretty powerful duo down there. They could go for a more aggressive poke style. It'll be interesting to see if they want to go towards Comet for Johnsun, if they want to go towards Spell Thieves even for additional damage, but with the threat of the Alistar all in, I'm guessing we'll probably still see Guardian, probably still see Relic Shield, the more defensive side of that. But for now, there is quite a bit of parity in the draft. We're assuming this is both bot lanes, both junglers, so it's going to be targeted bans towards the solo laners, and I am really curious to see who CLG is going to leave their last pick for. Where are they going to try to get their counter pick and their major advantage? Because that usually will tell you who they want to play towards, and you're still expecting them to draft some sort of hard point-and-click CC. Because if they don't do that for one of their solo lanes, I do feel like it becomes difficult for Taliyah to have a lot of effectiveness in the early stages of the game. So I'm going to be interested to see where they look for that CC.
All right, well, Gragas, Nah, Twisted Fate, and one more to come now for FlyQuest here. Feels like, I mean, Syndra isn't point and click, but might be something to pick up there in mid lane. Pretty safe blind pick as well, and can help assist Taliyah. Zoe also very good, but is going to get banned here, which is a ban I like actually against RJS. Gangplank here though for Finn means they are leaving counter pick open for their mid laner.
Okay, very interesting. So blind GP. We'll see if Licorice has anything aggressive. He does want to play into it. A lot of the time when people are playing in a GP, if you're looking at solo queue data, people are going to play ranged top laners into it. It can be pretty strong as far as playing the barrel mini game. There are also some melee champions that you can play very aggressively to look for things like all-ins. Cho'Gath, really interesting to actually see that come out. And I know Cho'Gath is actually considered to be a pretty good matchup into GP. I have not watched a lot of it myself, but I have heard people talking about that as a fairly strong matchup. You do have the ability to actually push quite effectively, all three of your abilities being AoE. As long as you do have access to the wave and aren't falling behind the GP, your passive allows you to actually heal through a lot of the poke damage that GP can actually throw out. So it can be a lane that you can get priority in. And this is pretty interesting to see Yone blind over here from Palafox.
Ooh, it's a pretty cool counter pick as well. Sylas also recently got buffed on this patch, so it is going to be the lock in there for RJS, presumably. I don't think Palafox has played Yone yet this year, but he certainly was known for his assassins. He's played Akali actually already, even though he's very good on his control mages. I like the FlyQuest is saying, you know what, give Licorice kind of the tankier top laner and give Palafox a bit more playmaking. I like that FlyQuest are mixing up how they approach the game, because for a while it felt like it was just going to be, all right, JoseDeodo, try and get Licorice ahead and farm up yourself, and we're going to win the game somehow through that.
Yeah, this is a pretty crazy draft, though.
I like it.
Blind Yone. We have the Cho'Gath coming out. We have the Sylas as the answer here. And when you're looking over, anytime I see a Sylas game, I think, yes, about the lane matchup, but also about the ultimates you can steal. And there are some really good ones. Being able to actually, steal away the Cho'Gath ultimate. I know that generally speaking, Sylas keeps stacks as well. So I do think you can actually steal the Cho'Gath ultimate and then keep the fee stacks, which is kind of cool there. Seraphine ultimate really strong. Yone, I think, could be pretty strong as a diving tool. Graves and MF ultimates are both pretty good for reaching backline damage. Like every ultimate that he can steal has some sort of utility and some place in the game. So it'll be really interesting to see how RJS does actually navigate this, especially if you get to later game stages where you can be pulling those ultimates left and right and using sometimes multiple even in a team fight. Can be pretty exciting.
Yeah, really fun. It's funny that, like, I agree with you. I think Seraphine is, like, among the strongest, if not one of the strongest champions in the game right now. So CLG, maybe if they don't play it, they kind of took the roundabout way of playing Seraphine, right? They just took the good part in the ulti with the Sylas pick there, and we'll see how it works out. But FlyQuest is going to be moving out onto the Rift, stacking here in this brush, perhaps predicting an invade here. See if CLG going to walk into it.
I think it's pretty smart. We're seeing a lot more teams look for pre-planned level 1s, which I really do enjoy. Even if it's just a brush stack like this, it can be pretty effective, and they're going to scout that brush. See Smoothie.
Ooh, flash in, finds the pulverized burst blood instantly as Turtle is going to collect it. And now Finn's going for more, but I don't think there's going to be anything else happening. But yeah, that was quick.
That was a next level bait from CLG, honestly. Having 4 members stacked behind the Alistar. Alistar gets scouted out by the Misfortune, and they're like, oh, sweet, we can force his flash. Yeah, he can force his flash, but the rest of the team is all behind him here. Even Turtle over to the side so that they could potentially get vision of Turtle. Really, I do think kind of baited them into this false sense of security. Finn with the barrel start here at level 1. Notice him popping the barrel there in the brush. Flash forward, ignite, combo, barrel chain, everything landing right off the bat. And Turtle gets to start not only with the longsword, but with the additional potion for the laning phase. So that is a huge advantage for the CLG bottom lane, who I think has been a strength for them.
Yeah, for sure. Turtle and Smoothie looking pretty good together despite not having any games together, I believe, despite playing on teams that they've both each been on. They've never been on a team at the same time. So really cool to see them kind of building up synergy, kind of maybe rewriting some of their narratives. Turtle as the oldest surviving player, I suppose, in the LCS. He's been around the longest. He's played in every split. And Smoothie also now been around a long time.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, there are some of the last standing. These rookies come in and steal their jobs.
It makes sense. All right, well, still the focus here in bottom side. I think Longsword Doran's is a lot better than Tier, but you can't discount the power of MF Seraphine. Very frustrating lane to play against.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the comparing of the items, there are obviously 4 different things, right? Johnsun here is looking to just be able to stack up the tier early, to be able to harass with the spell casting, utilize the E, the Comet, the Scorch, cheap shot even as well. You generally go towards, and they have Spell Thief, so it is this really harass-based lane that I had actually referenced them maybe going for. But it's actually even more of a big deal when you're playing this style of lane and your opponent got that first blood, because the extra potion matters a lot here. Generally your advantage is not gotten through an all-in. It's gotten through poking out your opponents, whittling down, taxing all their sustain, and then forcing them back to base on a bad timing. But with the extra potion, might not be able to do it.
Mid lane here under Palafox, going to be forced to flash away, but no follow-up CC. Palafox now going to dash back in, actually gets the knockup, finds a shield from the W activating, and Griffin lets the stones roll, but Palafox will not be felled. Still has to use the flash there. Very aggressive trade, but does live the gank.
Yeah, he is going to be able to survive. Cost him the flash, though. You get the Dark Harvest stack early on Taliyah, which is always going to be feeling nice when you're playing a Dark Harvest jungler. Allows RJS to reset the wave here. And JoseDeodo down to the bottom side now. That sweeper spotting the ward should allow FlyQuest knowledge of what's going on. So they need to start backing it up a little bit. Pay some respect. If CLG thinks that they would be going for that dive, they're going to have to be careful. But both potions have been taxed from Turtle. So imagine a situation where he's now 150 HP lower. That's where he would be sitting had he not gotten that first blood gold. And at that point, you probably would be threatened by the dive. So it's a pretty big change, these little things that happen at the start of the game.
Yep, does have a biscuit as well, but he's held on to it. In fact, he's just got a second one delivered magically. But going to need all that sustain, basically, to go through this poke, as you're mentioning. So good start here still, despite the first blood onto Turtle. Johnsun and Diamond holding about a 10 CS lead with their very harass poke-heavy lane. But I think it's par for the course here. Smoothie doesn't have a flash, had to use it in the level 1, holding onto the Ignite and just trying to farm up under the tower nice and safely as Palafox has TP'd back to mid lane. So is RJS.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, if you can't threaten the all-in as the Alistar lane, then there's not really any relieving of the pressure. And without that flash, you can't actually threaten, a Q flash, knocking them under the turret. So it did allow FlyQuest to harass more heavily when they are at that turret. But at the same time, even though Turtle is behind on gold, he gets a great first buy because he had that first blood from earlier on. So going to be sitting on that serrated Dirk. And up on that top side, we haven't really been watching this lane, but Licorice has the shove here. Is that wave going to make it to the turret? It probably should. And we'll see, though. Licorice is out of mana, so he's going to have to go back to base. And for the most part, he's just going to be looking to push very, very heavily.
Counter gank here actually by Diamond as Griffin looks for mid, but Smoothie's here as well. Knockup's going to miss as Palafox somehow dodged out of that, even though RJS did land the stun, I believe. So nice little sidestep there, avoids the 3v2. And Palafox continues to stay alive, despite quite a bit of attention, actually, to his lane.
Yeah, Diamond didn't really have any kill pressure there, obviously, on the protection, but he did have the empowered W, the double cast there for the heal, the speed, and the shielding coming through. Pretty important for Palafox. So a nice little move from Diamond as they were on that reset timing. Didn't really cost them anything to just show up mid and protect his mid laner there. Pretty important when you know he's down on the summoner because that is timing that CLG is going to be looking to punish.
Griffin though here again. Now on the right side, perhaps thinking this will be a better angle to approach, but Palafox continuing to play with respect for the potential jungle here. Those stones doing a decent amount of damage. But Palafox just trying to stay farmed up and actually keeping it pretty close in farm. Doesn't have fleet footwork, most notably. Does have Conquer instead, so a little bit hard for him to sustain. RJS also going to steal the ulti, but Palafox has his own, so could see a Yone v Yone ultimate battle, but Palafox, I think just fainting there. JoseDeodo is ready, waiting in the wings, but no jungler decides to emerge from the brush, and everyone's going to walk away.
Yeah, most of these ganks just feel like they're just trying to reset the wave, to be honest. You see Taliyah coming up there. Sylas wants to actually just constantly reset, it seems like. Not have his mana get taxed too heavily, as Yone obviously is not reliant upon that mana. So goes back, gets the early Seekers, which is going to serve him very, very well against Yone and Graves. So really effective early buy here. But at the same time, as they saw that reset happening, it did open up the opportunity for FlyQuest to grab an early dragon here for themselves.
All right, well, back in topside. TP going to be forced by Finn. Licorice has already used his, has those plated steel caps built up, so feeling pretty comfy in the 1v1, and CS reflects that as well. Licorice up about 10 right now.
Yeah, the push is just so powerful with Cho'Gath, and that is something that, like, you're not expecting him to kill the Gangplank, but you are expecting him to push the Gangplank in pretty heavily, especially in the early phases, and your trading can be pretty good. If you step up to the wave, the E is actually hitting you through that, and now he's trying to go aggressive here, knowing Licorice has no ulti.
1v1 here, attempt. Finn ready with the flash. Grass proc probably coming back up. It is indeed back. You see the glowing green hands, but not enough to kill the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, nicely done by Finn, putting on a good amount of pressure there. Also, I think it was the correct decision to not actually flash follow. I don't think he would have had enough damage with the Q and Grass proc to actually kill off Licorice there. So does get a good bit of harass down, does push back Licorice, and really nicely done to get that out. It's one of those things where generally Cho'Gath in lane, if you don't feel you have heavy kill pressure, you want to actually use your feast to just get those stacks going. You can see he already has 2 stacks of the feast. You can get 6 from the minions, which are going to permanently increase your HP, which then increases the damage that feast will do later on. But the problem with that is, and this is what Finn capitalized on, when you don't have that, there's not much pressure on your opponent in any potential all-in. So seeing that that was on cooldown, Finn just immediately forced a fight and was able to get the flash as a result.
All right, we'll continue dueling in mid, but as you mentioned, it does seem to be mostly over waves rather than anything else. Palafox finally feeling a bit of freedom to be able to play up and aggressively. Griffin, though, once again visiting here alongside Smoothie. Looks like maybe a Rift Tower play is in order because I do spy WildTurtle in the top lane. And indeed, Griffin will start off Shelly, but not going to commit to the objective just yet. Smoothie looking to get some vision, but does miss that ward, unfortunately. Scry's Bloom, not the right angle to potentially sweep that one away, and Sweep is ready, but wasn't popped there by Smoothie, so they should know this is happening, and FlyQuest are already doing their bot lane duo up here as well.
Yeah, you can see, though, that Licorice is actually down in the bottom lane, and Finn went down bot, pushed that out, and is now rotating. So if FlyQuest does decide to actually fight this, it would be a 4v5, so I don't really think it's worthwhile for them. I think you just want to push out the waves, try to get some additional gold down on that bot side, accept that you have been out-prepared for this and just give it up, and that will be the decision here. Were Licorice around, that's something that they can contest for, but without TP and with Finn having the first roam, it's just such a low percentage play. There's not really any point in going for it.
Yep, no reason to do anything silly. So Griffin collects the Herald, collects the Scuttle Crab as well. We'll be happy with the wares he has received from that play. CLG and Fly actually going to stick up towards that top side, but I imagine we'll see an eventual swap back. Fly do have the first dragon. Next one's in 2 minutes, but while away until we get there as Palafox just lays into RJS. Big trade there. One of the frustrating things about Yone, it just feels like kind of get beat on, then he zips away. So nice bit of damage there.
It definitely does feel that way. We'll see if they're going to pull off a dive here. There's no ultimate for Finn for a couple more seconds.
No ult for Licorice either, though. JoseDeodo already flashing in. Finn's just absolutely dead as JoseDeodo finds the final shell into the back of Gangplank.
You can see that Licorice already so tanky, not really any worries about tanking up that turret. They knew the ultimate was still on cooldown for a little bit, and yes, Licorice didn't have his available, but with JoseDeodo there, it is an easy kill on the Gangplank, and with the E reset on towers, with Demolish for Licorice, he's going to collect actually a lot of plates down here. Cho'Gath does a pretty significant amount of damage to turrets despite being a tank. His base damage is actually fairly high, and as a result, it is one of those tanks that actually can pressure turrets pretty heavily.
Well, RJS TPing back in. Nice timed knock up there for Palafox to get some damage down, but likely going to take a reset himself. As you can see, Licorice up in gold right now, but the dive is incoming. JoseDeodo, though, around the back. He's looking good, and that ulti already hit onto Turtle. That's going to be a kill straight up in the 2v2 almost, as JoseDeodo now leaps into life, and Johnsun takes him out. Now Griffin in trouble as Johnsun gets the bullets flying. Needs one more. Palafox over the top. He's going to find it, surely. He already used the ulti for the gap close, but the W just barely finds the edge of that Taliyah as Palafox will TP in for the second kill.
That was so well handled by FlyQuest. JoseDeodo read the play. They made the dive bot side. So CLG says, all right, we got to respond on the other side of the map. But this was so delayed, JoseDeodo does not show, and FlyQuest engages away from the impending dive. So WildTurtle is incredibly low, then Griffin and Smoothie are forced to show, but JoseDeodo is already there on the flank, then Palafox TPing in, ults over the wall before Eing to get extra distance there and just close the gap to finish off an additional kill. That is so big for FlyQuest. This gold swing is enormous. I talked about the Cho'Gath damage on turrets. During that time, Licorice took 3 turret plates. They got the kill on the dive. Then they kill multiple members off on the other side and really are just winning big everywhere. Cho'Gath even has his ultimate up now, and the dragon is here. We'll see if they can get a counter kill.
Licorice can't break the wall, but is just going to fight instead. JoseDeodo is here, but Licorice needs to buy a bit more time. He's getting a little too low, but he's juking the stones. Licorice dancing his way out of there will indeed escape, but now JoseDeodo in trouble from the running Alistar, but everyone's going to walk away. Very nice footwork there for Licorice to escape that potential gank.
He's a beefy boy. He's got a lot of width that he has the juke with there. But it looks like they will grab the dragon off this. So this is really nice. FlyQuest did actually have Cho'Gath down on the bottom side to be able to utilize that Cho'Gath beast to both get him an extra stack and to secure that dragon. But off that play, despite the fact that CLG don't get the kill, they do get a dragon for themselves. But again, more plates will be falling on the other side of the map. This is going to be at least one plate going the way of FlyQuest. And because it is Spell Thieves on the Seraphine, it's always really nice to get access to that tower for the free procs. Plus, their successful early laning phase means Diamond is going to be getting a big injection of gold. And you can see he's already getting very close to the Moonstone.
Well, Palafox has a new opponent in mid lane. It's the Rift Herald. As Griffin did pop it there, plate is going to go over to the jungler and mid laner of CLG, so not a bad use at all. Always want to make sure you get the first Herald down before the plates drop, so Griffin makes sure that does happen. Top lane tower, though, looking pretty unhealthy on the CLG side, and bottom lane, as you mentioned, already had quite a number of plates stripped off by Licorice. In fact, that cannon minion is working down almost a 4th one, but Finn does sweep them away with the barrel. Still, Licorice is a threat here in the 1v1, despite not having a finished item yet, I guess, except boots, which is very powerful, to be fair. Licorice doesn't really feel particularly afraid of Finn 1v1, no. And the jungler attempts have not really been there either, because Fly have done a good job of covering for their top laner.
I mean, you can just see how tanky he is, and just even the passive from killing off that one minion gave him like 49 health back. So as long as you do have access to the minion wave, it's very difficult to really threaten the Cho'Gath. This is a potential pick here.
Oh, what a combo! There's the bullet time over as Diamond picks up the kill, actually, and that's the other part of MF Seraphine that actually we didn't talk about. Yes, the two different E's line up well together, but the ulti combo is also very nice.
Root, charm, into the MF ultimate. WildTurtle doesn't even get an opportunity to move there, so a nice trap laid by FlyQuest, and they do take him down. Over on the other side, though, you can see Finn going for the Essence Reaver first. This is the build that really seems to be rising in popularity pretty tremendously. Just using Essence Reaver as your Spellblade item instead of actually going towards a Spellblade Mythic and then going towards Shield Bow feels like the most common these days for Gangplank, which does help your dueling quite a bit. The Essence Reaver passive also going to be very nice to just kind of keep your laning going pretty much infinitely, as you're never really going to run out of mana, and you have your W to just act with some sustain alongside the Grasp.
Well, shield bows everywhere, actually. Both JoseDeodo and Palafox have finished theirs. Gale Force for Johnsun, which will make the all-in we just saw in top lane even better the next time they find somebody. So Mythics across the board here for FlyQuest. They're up 2,600 gold, which is a very nice early game lead. But CLG did get that last dragon as a result of Wiggly's presence there in the bottom side. So still some work to be done here for FlyQuest, but can be happy with their early game, especially since their AD carry and mid laner are currently topping the gold charts.
Going to be feeling really good about that. Cho'Gath doing well, just been stacking up the fee stacks constantly, which is going to mean that they're going to have incredible secure on a lot of these objectives. He did decide to go for the Turbo Chem Tank. You know, you see a lot of Frostfire Gauntlet on Cho'Gath, but Turbo Chem Tank obviously has a high amount of utility, right? You just pop the Turbo Chem Tank, you run in, you get the 40% slow that pops when you get into melee range there, your E slows, you can even just have the Turbo Chem Tank slow into a silence, and then it's pretty much guaranteed that you're going to actually land your knockup. They can't even flash while they are silenced there, so it's pretty annoying combo to deal with from the Cho'Gath, and we'll see how effective Licorice is going to be down.
It's also much funnier than anything else you can do as Cho'Gath, because he's just running at you. I mean, Udi is pretty comical when he runs at you. Giant Cho'Gath has to be even funnier. Also very scary. Palafox missing the ulti there on the Griffin, trying to make it happen. This looks like a 1v1 in the making, and indeed he gets it, but RJS nails him with the stolen encore, but the rest of FlyQuest are here to reinforce as Palafox's shield bow going to kick in. Smoothie going to get locked up there as RJS just dead, as Licorice runs in for the feast and finds it as Smoothie still has to run for the heavens. Will get out to safety, but FlyQuest just continuing to succeed play after play.
The teleport up from Licorice, grabs a feast stack for himself up on that top side. They will take this Rift Herald. I'm not sure that Licorice really needed to teleport because the fight was already won. And I was worried that they were going to lose this turret down on the bottom side, but with Palafox being able to use his TP to answer, it's not so bad. The one thing FlyQuest will have to be careful about, though, is both their solo laners now have committed to teleport. Neither one on the side of CLG has, so they are going to be down globals on the map right now, but we can watch this one more time. Griffin face-checking Palafox. You are very squishy on the Taliyah. Despite the fact that he flashes the ultimate, Palafox is in on top of him, landing the Q2 for the knockup and more than enough damage to get the XQ on the snapback. Then, despite the fact that RJS has that stolen Seraphine ultimate, the shield bow just gives you so much protection from those all-ins. He's not able to burst him down. The shield bow procs. He has an incredible amount of sustain, both with his runes and just with the lifesteal on that item, plus the Doran's Blade. Yone can be very deceptively tanky. Once the Conqueror is all stacked up and you have you know, Ravenous Hunter, all the healing coming through from that, it's really tough to actually knock him down.
Yeah, it functions like, I guess more like a, I was going to say bruiser, but I guess it's more like a fighter if you want to get super technical. But yeah, I mean, you can't just sit there glass cannon yeeting on people with Gale Force and hope to win, at least at this level, I think. So I like the Palafox is going the Shield Bell route, because he just needs a little bit more durability. His top side, it is problems for Finn. He's getting all in by everyone as Johnsun, the one to collect the kill, and Finn, you just can't be there when FlyQuest have control of your jungle.
A little bit dicey there for Finn, as you say, despite the fact that it is on your side of the map. You have to respect where you have control, where you don't have control. One of the things that I think CLG has really struggled with is sometimes maintaining vision. They don't really have anything down on that bottom side, and as a result, you have just got to play it incredibly careful. He did not, and he was punished pretty heavily for that.
Palafox going for it again. I love the assassin play out of Palafox here. Very flashy as a player, does get the trade down, but not enough to really all-in RJS, and of course was going to be tethered back out of the Spirit Realm from his E, so it does just back away here, and also needs to respect that maybe someone can be coming through. Ooh, he's going in now for the ultimate, but Smoothie's going to show up early. And Palafox with that ward there is going to spot him, but now Griffin going to come down here with the Weaver's Wall, gets the Chilling Smite slow. Oh, Palafox missed that first Q. I think he's dead anyway, but RJS is going to make sure it happens there. Palafox dancing back around, trying to make something happen, but it is the shutdown for Taliyah.
Yeah, Palafox getting a little bit too aggressive. The first play, I think, was nice as a trade onto RJS, and he had wards around to pre-warn him if people were coming, but the second one a little bit too much when the first had already failed. You hadn't seen the jungler or support for a while. Griffin and Smoothie are able to respond. The Weaver's Wall, great from Griffin, and they're able to chase down and shut down Palafox, getting a critical kill on him, and it should mean that they'll probably get this tower as well, because I don't think Licorice is going to feel safe to actually walk up to this.
Yeah, RJS should be able to finish this off. Also has Yone ultimate in the back pocket. Still hijacked from the last encounter, so it can actually start something pretty meaningful pretty quickly in either a skirmish or a team fight if there is one coming up. 3 minutes until that next dragon though, so probably not going to be that one. But you can kind of see the differences there between Yasuo and I guess Echo Fighter Yone. Yasuo gets lots of mobility whenever there's a minion wave and he's ease up, which is a lot in that case. Yone only ultimate in Q3, so Palafox kind of trapped there after committing with the all-in. But speaking of all-in, Smoothie going to be forced to ulti nice and early, because Diamond found a very nice E plus ulti combo, but everyone's going to back away. Only one ultimate committed there for Fly. I guess JoseDeodo popped collateral as well. Ooh, RJS getting in there. Does find the lock up on the Seraphine. See you later. Diamond is JoseDeodo going to get run down by Turtle after Killer Instincting in RJS over the wall as Turtle does collect the kill, and CLG finally find a team fight that goes their way.
That is huge, though, because that's just not the team fight. That's probably the Baron here. We'll see if they're going to be willing to commit to it. They are not with Licorice in the area, and multiple members still alive. They don't want to hard commit to this. I thought they maybe could have gone for more. Instead, though, it is just the initial play. The GP ulti setting up for RJS. They are slowed. He has the Yone ulti to actually close the gap. WildTurtle flies in. You can see how this composition is meant to function. The slow from the GP, everyone flying in on top and really accessing that back line to just try to burst them down. The gold graph really telling the story here. As you could see, it was that steady gain for FlyQuest until these last couple minutes. Palafox picked on backside. Down in the bot lane, they lose their turret off of that. Now multiple members picked off up in that top area around Baron, but at least for FlyQuest, they did not lose the Baron itself off of it, and they are still moving towards Ocean Soul, which would be incredibly good when you do have a Cho'Gath. It just makes him pretty much invincible when he's already ridiculously tanky. You can see he's just about 3,000 HP at this point. He has the 6 stacks from minions. He did get that 1 stack from a kill as well. Could actually possibly have 1 stack from a dragon and only 5 from minions, which would mean he'd have 1 more available to get those kind of free stacks. But he is going to be very, very difficult to actually knock down.
Yeah, you can see Finn just pushing the wave and leaving. Doesn't really want to have anything to do with Cho'Gath in the 1v1. Finn also achievement hunting here, going for the Mythicless LCS run, which is kind of fun. Does have Collector second there. But I imagine the Mythic is on the way. Curious to see which one. But no rush here for the GP.
It'll probably still be shield bow, but if he doesn't feel like he needs to actually duel, then maybe doesn't really have to go for it.
Forced into a duel.
These guys scrapping.
Oh, Licorice doing quite a bit of damage. Actually does get 1 barrel, I believe, but JoseDeodo going to make this a very unfair fight, and there's the stack Licorice was after as Finn gets devoured.
Oh man, it is so sad. It's not that fast, but he was just permanently slowed the whole time. You have the Emax on Cho'Gath, so you're getting E-slowed. You get silenced into a knock-up. Then after the E-stacks are gone, he has no more slows from that. Then he pops the Turbo Chem Tank and slows you with that. He even has Randuins as well, so there's even an additional slow on the active from the Randuins. So Licorice has just gone for the you can't move build to be able to hit those Qs, and he's going to keep smacking away at you. And that is really frustrating to play against if you do get into an extended lane. They will be able to grab this dragon for themselves, of course, because the feast was used. That won't be needed for there.
This looks like a very anime-esque battle here as, Palafox does find the first kill with an outplay. Now moves forward as well, but I believe barely he got hit by something. I think it may be Smoothie CC, and Griffin is going to be able to finish off the kill thanks to the Ignite and the assist of the Alistar. But very nearly a 1v3 outplay at least gets the trade kill for Palafox.
I mean, that's still huge for them, honestly. Yes, he did end up going down, but he gets the 1 kill in a 1v3, as you say. Do they pull him back in? Yes.
Clipped in, but doesn't get enough damage there. The Graves ulti was nice. I like the attempt with the long-range kill, but WildTurtle does hold on to his life. FlyQuest, though, as you said, they take the trade kill. They almost get 1 in mid, and they take the tier 2. Still happy with the results of the last few plays.
Yeah, I mean, they got Dragon, 2 towers, and a kill for 1 kill on the other side where the team committed 3 people. Yes, CLG does get a tower back on the top side for them, but that is a big outplay there from Palafox, and he now is on the IE, which is so big for Yone, getting towards that maximum crit, becoming incredibly strong as far as the burst, and he already has a very high sustain when you have that shield bow. You have really powerful dueling, but once you get the IE in there, you start having the potential to just zero out some of these squishier members. Of course, that is why we see 2 Zhonya's hourglasses over on the other side, so it may mean that he really wants to just target people more like Turtle and even potentially Finn.
Yeah, pretty good game for Armor on the CLG side. If the 3 champions in the middle do have you do AD damage or Diamond over the wall. Very nice trap here set by CLG. See you later, Diamond is RJS. You're going to get that, and now Palafox diving in. Maybe a bit too deep, but Licorice over the top, but take it all back. Does get RJS. Smoothie is feasted upon as the Q is going to miss for Licorice. And CLG just get that completely turned around.
Cho'Gath is too funny, man. Just big old void alien running at you, chomping you down. It goes Palafox.
Still has the ulti. See you later, Turtle. Palafox is popping off. Takes down Turtle. That could be Baron for FlyQuest.
This could definitely be Baron for FlyQuest. We'll see if they want to start it up. Griffin is still alive. So is Finn. But I think you should be going for this. They don't have Feast, but they do have Smite. And we'll see if Taliyah can even get over here. The junglers look like they're dueling actually right now off the side of the screen.
JoseDeodo's like, I don't need to smite it. You can't get in. Can I keep zoning Griffin off? He's got no health. Finn also around. The Weaver's Wall going to trap them in the pit. But JoseDeodo still finds Griffin. Is going to be able to maybe keep him out of there. JoseDeodo shield bow pops Palafox over the top through the wall, and they will be able to get it. In he goes for the smite. Oh, you need to make sure this is secured. It looks a bit spooky, but JoseDeodo does grab it. RJS actually stole the feast to maybe try and get the steal, and now he's still fighting, but he's going to get knocked up and killed in the States as he goes. But surely that's a kill. Indeed it will be, as Licorice feasts once again.
Oh my god. FlyQuest get everything. CLG had so many members very, very low there. It was a clever attempt to actually go for that. Had the GP ulti over top of them with the Taliyah ult, just pinning them into the pit.
I'm not sure how it changed.
The initial play here, coming out, trying to take down Diamond. They did get the kill onto Diamond, and then the extended play, Palafox going in, getting so much damage out onto RJS. Licorice picking up another feast stack there off of Smoothie, and FlyQuest are able to turn it into a Baron.
All right, well,
does this work again here?
FlyQuest
don't see them.
And everything. Palafox continuing to look so good here on the Yone. I mean, this is like, I saw Turtle's face after that play. That's like the ultimate, I just got Yoned. Like, it just like slinks back in his chair. Like, the look like, there's nothing I can do there. And there isn't, which is one of the reasons you pick a champion like Yone. Palafox having a great game. 7-2-3, 500 bonus gold. Looking like he's really able to take this one over, but with the Red Bull Baron buff, it is FlyQuest currently sieging down the top side of CLG's Rift, picking out their 6th tower of the game. And this top inhibitor tower, not long for the world, as CLG must look to defend, but not a whole lot of options there, as Finn's already taken poke.
You have the level 16 Cho'Gath here leading the way. Incredibly strong solo laners right now. And he has so many feast stacks that there is a legit chance of just flash in, silence someone, 100-0. At this point in the game, Graves ulti reaching the backline, Seraphine MF ulti reaching the backline. You don't need a lot of damage coming out from those members before either Palafox or Licorice can just zero someone out.
Yeah, Palafox, going in, 2-man! Finds it there with the ulti, and now Licorice is just jumping into the fight. Doesn't feast just yet, still has it ready to go, but that's 2 kills already on the FlyQuest side. They'll take the second inhibitor tower as well. They'll take the inhib that goes with it, as Licorice barely going to miss the rupture onto RJS, but FlyQuest just lumbering towards the enemy nexus. This Cho'Gath, the embodiment of this push, going to win with this Baron buff, still having 40 seconds remaining as FlyQuest take out 1 nexus tower. Looking for more. Turtle, please run away. It's so spooky. Licorice still hasn't committed his ultimate, as Diamond's already popping off the logo early. The happy bees are everywhere as FlyQuest do look to put the finishing touches on the enemy nexus. Palafox still diving there, trying to bump the KDA up. Licorice gets a final feast as the ace is on the table. There it is, the Bud Light ace to finish it in style as FlyQuest take down CLG.
Yeah, Licorice having a feast of that grade A smoothie beef to finish things off. as FlyQuest with a really strong game there, dominating CLG. There was that one moment for them where they made a couple mistakes, lost some kills on bot side, lost some kills around the Baron, but besides that, really, FlyQuest was looking very, very good. They gave over first blood, but the bot lane was winning despite that. Had this really strong Seraphine MF combo pushing in, constantly pressuring. We saw them with control over the Dragons. We saw Palafox making a lot of big plays. The Cho'Gath was very effective. JoseDeodo was looking really good. And this is one of the stronger performances that we've seen from FlyQuest as they're able to pick up another win.
Yeah, I think, bottom end looking good. I think Seraphine's certainly helping there, but if FlyQuest is one of the only teams playing that champion, then credit to them for learning the ins and outs both as the support side and the bot lane farming side. But the solo lane is continuing to impress. Licorice playing maybe a little bit more towards his more older form where he was very powerful, very flexible, but Palafox showing strength on both the likes of Orianna and his assassins now as well. So definitely more of what we like to see from FlyQuest, but with all that being said, it is time for us to step away. When we return though, we'll be hearing from Diamond in the Verizon post-game interview.